Hi guys, it's Steven. Hello, surprise. I'm hanging out by the pool near our layover hotel in Houston. It's a beautiful day, hanging out. And so I was looking at the questions under the video about crash pads. And someone asked how much time we had between our OE and where we had to be at work the first day. How do we move our stuff from point A to point B? And when do we find out where we were based? So I'll start with where we'd be based. I found out, I think 2 days after I got my conditional job offer, so I had weeks of advanced knowledge. I really wish I had spent more time trying to find a crash pad before I graduated. I kept seeing online that, not to worry, it's going to happen. You'll see a listing on your bulletin board in your crew room, or you'll hear about it during training. I'll tell you that story in a minute. So I found out right after I got my conditional job offer. Some folks will find out while they're in training, a week or two in. Some people won't find out until a week or two before they graduate. I would think that the airlines would have an idea of where they wanted you, and they would tell you, because it seems kind of unfair to me to spring that on somebody. No, here, you graduate in 2 weeks. Now, try to find a place to live without actually being there. It just seems a little unfair. That is that. The amount of time we had between training and our first day of work. My airline gives us 4 days. Some other airlines might give you 3, they might give you 7. So it depends on your airline. Some airlines, the bigger ones, might give you a hotel room the first night or 2 or 3, just so that you're not, on the streets, I guess, with your luggage. My airline did not do that. We had 4 days. The first week of training, we were asked where would we want to fly right after training, after we had our OE. We had the choice to fly pretty much anywhere you wanted, but you only had 4 days, and if they sent you somewhere that wasn't your base, it was your responsibility, my responsibility, to get from wherever I was to my base for my first day of work on standby. And I had no experience flying standby, so I didn't know how long that would take or how risky that would have been. So some people chose to fly home to see their friends and their family and gather their things together. They would either ship their items. Once you work for an airline, typically, I think it's universal that we get, I'm assuming, that we get discounts with either the Postal Service or FedEx. My airline gives us, I think it's a 75% off discount with either second day shipping or something like that with FedEx. So, theoretically, I could have flown back to Atlanta, packed my stuff up if it wasn't already packed, and then shipped it to Las Vegas if I had an address to ship it to. Some people would fly home, see their friends, family, pets, and then pack their cars full of stuff and literally drive cross-country to Las Vegas for their first day of work. Again, assuming they had a place to stay that was already set up. Personally, I flew directly to my base. I wanted to have enough time, a couple days, to explore my airport, to explore the neighborhood, to explore public transport, to take Uber back and forth so I knew, how long it would take, how much it would cost. And if you watch my video about crash pads, you'll hear my story about my experience with crash pads, which was not a lot of fun. Pretty horrific. I'll have to watch that video again because it was gruesome how I had to find my first crash pad. If I didn't share that story, I'll share it in a story time or something. So I have to tell you, the first thing I would do, the minute you find out where you're going to be based, whether you're in training or before training, go onto Facebook. There's a portal to a business called Crashpad 411. And I think it's $10 for 6-month membership, I think. And it allows you to actually browse crash pads in different parts of the country and see, pictures of what the crash pads look like and I think there are reviews and stuff. So I would totally do that. There is Crash Pad Connection on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. I would join that. If your airline has a questions and answers page or something like a little chat page on Facebook, I would definitely join that and say, hey guys, I'm looking for a crash pad or a place to live in this base. Can someone help me out? So I would definitely prepare. The minute you find out where you're based, start searching. I think I mentioned it in that video about crash pads, but an alternate, if you just can't find a place, most airports have pretty affordable or reasonable hotels nearby that give great crew rates. So contact these hotels and say, hey, do you have any flight attendant crew reduced rates? In Vegas, there's a La Quinta North, I think it's $42 a night, which, if you need a place to stay or a place to live, might be a nice option. And you could split that maybe with another flight attendant. But I think I mentioned that in my flight attendant video. There's lots of things I said there. You know how I talk. So I hope I answered the questions in terms of how much time you have between your OE or your IOE and your first day of work. It can be between 3, 4, and maybe up to 7 days, but it's not a lot of time. And you frequently aren't there or don't have access to anyone there to help you find a place. So you really need to do your homework before you go. How to move stuff from point A to point B. I didn't say what I actually did. Personally, I didn't have a lot to move. I had moved twice before getting this job, and none of my furniture and big stuff was nicer than the stuff that was already there when I was moving into my place in Atlanta. It's fully furnished. It's a friend's house. So I got rid of most of my furniture. All I had in Atlanta was clothes, a lot of skincare, fragrances, stuff, pottery. And so when I went to Vegas, knowing I was in a crash pad, it wasn't an apartment, so I didn't have a lot of places to store things. I took my first set of guaranteed days off and a suitcase. I went back to Atlanta, packed it full of clothes that warm weather clothes because it was getting hot in Vegas. April, May in Vegas, super hot. And some pottery, some odds and ends, things that made me feel, at home. And then when I finally moved into my studio apartment, I made a couple runs to Atlanta over the course of a few months, picking up more clothes. As it is right now, I probably have half of my stuff divided between my place in Atlanta and my apartment in my studio in Vegas. Furniture and stuff, I just went to IKEA, honestly, and a place called Habitat for Humanity. They're probably located in most big cities, but I got some amazing furniture. Stuff that I will ship somewhere. If I move somewhere else, if I transfer to Fort Lauderdale, for example, the furniture I bought from Habitat for Humanity was so nice, I would have that shipped because I really liked it. I really do hope I answered those questions that were posed under that crash pad video, and I've gotten a couple of people ask similar questions earlier. So I hope that answered some of your questions. If it did not, if there's something I left out, please leave a comment below or share your experiences. All right, this is your homework. This is your homework. If you are a flight attendant, how much time were you given between your IOE and your first day of work? When did you find out where you were going to be based? Was it before training, during training? And how did you move your stuff? Or what did you take from one place to another? So share that information down below. I will find it interesting, and I'm sure it will be very, very helpful for other people. So if you finished watching this whole video, bless you, you're a saint. I think that's all I have to say. So you have a great day. I'm going to go to the gym, eat dinner, get ready for my flight back to Vegas tonight, and there you go. So fly safe. I'll talk to you later. Bye.